Welcome back to another episode of If You Will podcast. Wow, am I reaching around the world? We're actually headed to New Zealand today, and we're going to be talking with Woom. And I have Haz here with us, who's going to represent the band. So Haz, thanks so much for hopping on here. And I know it's early morning for you. I hope it's not too early for you to wake up and have this chat.
No, it's great. I'm happy to be here. So thanks, Chris.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I was so into this new record you guys put out. So good. One is always a heading somewhere. Came out just at the start of this year. An amazing record. This band is very DIY, chamber poppy, shoegazy, dream poppy. It's got all these beautiful touches, and it's a band of siblings, which is really cool. So maybe I'm going to rewind a little bit, and we'll kind of like we'll create a little bit of a foundation here on which we'll talk. So growing up, you're a twin with Charlotte, who is the lead vocalist in Woom. How did you guys grow up around music? Like, was there music in your home as you were growing up? Like, I saw a picture of the two of you at a piano, the cute little picture of the two of you sitting beside each other. Was music always a part of your home when you were growing up?
Yeah. Well, it definitely was. So mainly from our dad's side, like his kind of lineage. He is a musician. He plays like a lot of bluegrass music. So he played in Australia quite a bit. Just kind of like for fun, but they put out some records and stuff like that. But so he taught us guitar when we were a bit younger, and then he's got kind of his grandparents and great grandparents. There's music on that kind of side of the family. They're from Illinois, around the Midwest, and we actually had our great grandfather he's in the Book of World Records because he walked a long distance playing the fiddle. So
wow.
yeah, interesting.
That's cool.
But so from that side, music was definitely like encouraged, and
right.
So voice music, and
And were you guys a part of two like just shows? Like did your dad bring you to like live music events and stuff like that? Like, did you kind of get a sense of live music when you guys were growing up, that was something that was of interest to you guys?
Not so much. Not so much live music. Like when we were kids, we grew up in Champaign, Illinois, and we didn't see heaps of like live music. But I think when we came to Wellington in New Zealand when we were 12 and kind of in our early teenage years, there's like a really cool live music scene in Wellington in New Zealand. So we just got involved with that. There's heaps of DIY shows which are awesome, and so that kind of got us into it.
And is Wellington, like, was it a well-established scene for music? Like, were you guys inspired by a lot of the artists and the music that was taking place there? Was that something that resonated with you guys?
Yeah, definitely. I think, Wellington, like it's a city of probably, I think it's got like 400,000 people. So it's like a very small city. And it's got like university students coming through. It's the capital city. It's, and it definitely kind of like ebbs and flows with like what creative possibilities are there at the time. Like there was Lord of the Rings was being filmed in New Zealand in like 2000, like earlier 2000s, and that brought a lot of like money and there's more money for creative stuff during that time. There's more venues. So there's definitely like periods where there's more venues, and then kind of like it becomes less viable and less possible. So those closed down. But there's always kind of like a heart in young people making music, and so there's definitely an awesome space for that.
Right. And you and Cello were siblings that grew up together. How did your musical paths start to come together as you guys were growing up?
Well, like Georgette was also our older sister, Georgette. So we've got the same mum but a different dad, but we've always grown up together, the three of us. but she was really influential for us from like quite a young age because she'd share music with us. So it's quite
Right.
like an interesting kind of like process where we started making music. Georgette wasn't playing music for a long time. Like she wasn't a musician until later on when she joined the band. But she was definitely at the start, like influencing us with different music. She would just explore like as a teenager, and she'd have like a really, yeah, a really awesome kind of perspective on music.
Right.
Yeah. So
And
that, yeah.
GiGi, do you want to hop in here? We have
Oh,
Georgette here as well.
Hi.
I read too, GiGi, that LimeWire was a big door opener for you in the sense that you were able to look and discover all of these amazing artists that maybe not very many people have heard of. Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to music and how you kind of discovered it and those artists that really inspired what you wanted to do?
Yeah, so hello. Also, sorry that I'm late.
No troubles.
It was actually even before LimeWire. It was Napster for me, and then
Right. Right, that's true.
because I'm from the East. But yeah, it was actually, even though that's how I influenced cello and Hazzy. Before that, our older big siblings used to make me mixtapes and things because they lived in Melbourne and they would have access to a lot more music than what we had living in the forest. And so they would make me these little mixtapes of things like PG Harvey and Bjork and many, many things. And then both of our dads, like my dad and Cello and Hazzy's dad, had pretty extensive vinyl collections as well. And so I guess we were all just exposed to many different genres of music, kind of coming from all angles. And yeah, and then so it kind of just passed on from family member to family member.
It seems like it was that way, right? Like it was kind of funneled down through the older siblings to the younger ones.
Yes, exactly.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And GiGi, did you ever think that you were going to be in a band? Like, I know that you only started playing drums a little bit later on and kind of weren't in that band kind of ethos. What inspired you to want to be in a band?
Well, I did always fantasize about being a musician when I was little, but I always focused on visual art instead. And I did have a couple of drum lessons when I was a little kid, but I never really thought I could do it because I just, focused so much on my visual art that it just seemed like a fantasy. And then like I used to fantasize that I'd be Alanis Morissette when I grew up or something like that when I was really little and be a rock star and wear all leather. But then when I was 27, they Cello and Hazzy asked me if I wanted to join a band with them, and that's when I picked up the drumsticks, and then I just started doing it. And I guess it became more of a reality that was always a fantasy.
Right. And what inspired you to bring GiGi into this? Like, where did the idea come that this would be a sibling band, other than just kind of going off on your own and exploring the world of music individually? What was the catalyst that brought you guys together?
Yeah, it wasn't really orchestrated or anything like that. So me and Charlotte were doing this kind of like it was mainly like kind of folky project before when we were like teenagers, and then we kind of wanted to move on from that, and Cello started a like a solo project called it was Womb, and they released the first EP, and then they wanted to perform live, and then they wanted some people to help perform live. So yeah, they just roped us into that, and then
Nice.
we started. Yeah, I think it just kind of organically happened like that.
Right. Because the first Womb record that was put out, self-titled, you guys weren't on that. I mean, GiGi,
No.
I remember I read that you did the cover art, and as you were like consulting and a part of it, but you weren't a part of it yet. Like it wasn't the official, like, okay, we're coming together.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Amazing. And why? I guess, like, I guess I'll start with GiGi. What was it in your siblings that connected with you? That this would be, it's not Alanis Morissette, but it's something that I want to be a part of. Like, what was it that they were offering that you were like, I'm in?
I don't even know if there was much of a questioning in my mind. It just kind of started happening and it felt right. And we've always like made things together in different iterations our whole lives, really. And like, so it just kind of seemed like a continuation of that. And I don't actually remember really questioning it or asking myself if it was something I wanted to do. I just was doing it because it felt right. And they had already been kind of my main collaborators prior to that. And so it just felt like another extension of that at the time, I'm pretty sure. And and I have I've always been besotted with any music that either of them had made together or separately. And it was I felt very honored to be asked to join, even though I didn't know how to drum. So it's quite cool.
Let's talk about that. Let's drill down a little bit on that. Like what? So they come to you. We need a drummer. You had a few classes when you were younger, as you had mentioned. What was that process like for you? What did you have to do to be able to feel comfortable to say, okay, I'll do it? What was your process of that transformation into a drummer?
I think, I think there's like this photo of me as a baby on my dad's friend's drum kit. And I think the way my mind works, I kind of saw that as like a apparition or something, or like a foreshadowing when then they asked, and I was like, oh yeah, that seems right. But I can't exactly remember what was going through my mind. But it was really scary to be suddenly playing gigs like 2 weeks after coming together, and like they already really knew what they were doing, and I did not. So
that's pretty impressive though. I mean, it's just getting 2 body parts involved in playing an instrument, forget about 4. I mean, it's a next level in my mind anyway, but that's interesting. And what was it like? Did they describe to you the kind of style, or did you develop the style based on what they were presenting to you, obviously, but how did your style evolve with Womb?
Well, I think initially they probably showed me a few things to do. I can't actually exactly remember because it is a decade ago now, but they would have shown me some general things, but I'm not sure if we necessarily had those kind of conversations earlier on. Did we, Hazy?
Yeah, I don't think so. I think the general tone was kind of set like by that first EP, like the tone and kind of like the feeling of the band was set with that EP, and also just like stuff we were listening to. Like, I think there's quite a Wellington kind of sound, or like a New Zealand sound at that time that we were probably part of, and like aware or not aware of it, but being influenced by that. So I think we were all kind of just like, I don't think any of us were coming from it from like a completely different perspective or like wanting to make a different sound or anything. I think we all were kind of just on the same page with that.
Cool. And was it that sibling connection, you think, that enabled that, it facilitated it?
Definitely. Yeah.
It's so easy, like being a 3-piece, or like as easy as it can be being like a 3-piece. Siblings that like get along mostly. Right.
Yeah, no choice. In the end,
like friends in like these bands that like they go on tour and stuff, and they aren't sibling. Like it's just, it makes it a lot easier to like tour, and it's
So what's your process like? Has maybe I'll throw this your way. Like, how do songs come to be for Womb? Is there one person that tends to write the structure of the song and then brings it to the, like, how does your collaboration work? Because I do understand too that we were talking a little bit before we hopped on here that you guys are kind of separated. You're not like next door. So like, how does that collaboration, and how does the song start for Womb?
there's not really like a set way that we would start a song, but like oftentimes Shar will kind of do like voice memos, like have like notes on their phone with like lyrics. They're also like a writer, so they're a creative writer, so they're like, yeah, pen on paper is their vibe. But so they would kind of like come up with song structures. They've got like a unique guitar tuning that they use, and different chords they often return to. So they would kind of start that. Oftentimes there's not really a structure so much in place, but we'll kind of come together, all of us, and help define that structure.
Okay.
Sometimes like I've made just like guitar based, like kind of instrumental stuff that I've sent to Cello, and they will use that. And I think they kind of like that process also. We'll send stuff to Georgette. Georgette's kind of like got a bank of some drum patterns and stuff that she'll use. So yeah, it kind of comes together. We've got a residency, like a self-imposed residency coming up next month, which will be really good. So we're just going to be in the same space and start generating ideas and come together with what we've been working on independently. So yeah.
Interesting. I like that residency. Is that so you guys will organize a chunk of time where you'll all be kind of close to each other and then be able to be amongst each other to flush things out?
Yeah, we all have other jobs. Like, so we work like all like full time on other stuff. So it's hard to like be really like have time to, because otherwise it's like evenings and it's like scattered across different weekends and stuff. So it's really nice to like be like, we're just reserving this time. And we did that earlier in the year before the tour. So that's really special. It was awesome to have that before the tour.
Yeah, that's a great idea too. Like, and like, how long do your residencies last, and like, what's the expectation going into it? Like, do you guys set like, okay, we're going to work on these songs, or, you know, we'd like to get ready for this live show, or like, how do you set those residencies up? It's such an interesting idea.
I'll let Georgette answer that if you want to.
Yeah.
Well, I guess this will be our third one, I think, of our self-imposed residencies. And so for the prior two, we've just gone in with an idea or like what we need to work on, and then kind of blocked out the days and the times and had set times to also just bond with each other in the interim, so we can, because that's part of the process as well, and incorporating like going out into nature, and in this case the beach is very close, and then just kind of playing around and devising and fleshing out what's already starting to be formed as well. And it's quite structured but also loose enough for it to be organic.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And have you found, GiGi, that over time, like how the sound has evolved? Like, do you guys find that the sound is changing over time? I mean, I would think that it would naturally, but like your observation, do you guys try to change record to record, or do you try to keep it kind of like foundational of your roots of, you know, like you were saying before, this I've titled was kind of the way that you guys wanted to continue creating songs. Has your sound evolved over time in unexpected ways?
Yeah, I think it definitely has, while still kind of retaining some kind of original essence. And I think that the last three albums we've done, Cello has been saying as well, like they're kind of closed now. So this next album is going to be quite different. Yeah. Do you want to take this one over, Hazy?
Yeah, we've done 3 albums. It's the first one. I love the first album because we just had like we weren't like conceiving anything, or we weren't like predetermining anything. We're just like, this is what we've made, and we went into like a venue studio space and just recorded it live, and it was really like just direct. And we're young, like we're quite young, I guess, making it. Someone like responded with a new album and said it was like the sound is like coming into focus, like our sound is coming into focus, which is interesting, but I don't know if I completely agree. I think like each album's kind of just like been its own thing, and I don't think we predetermined too much going into it.
And saying that you're just mentioning that you kind of are closing a chapter on, and like, are the songs that you guys are writing nowadays, do you feel that they're a departure from or an evolution of the sound that you have been creating so far?
Yeah, I think like instrumentally we've all kind of like explored different things on each of our instruments, and I think there's been a natural progression into that evolution, I think. If that answers your question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally. And kind of stepping back a little bit and looking at this record that you put out this year, One Is Always Heading Somewhere. How have you felt the response has been from the world, from people that are listening to it? How do you guys feel that the response has been?
It's been really nice. It's always weird. I guess the nature of music now is like it's so online, and your experience is like very kind of filtered through that format. So I think going on tour, we played 5 shows for the album release, and I think the touring is such a nice way to actually like meet people, and you feel like you're connected with people. We played with a lot of different support acts from Aotearoa that it was all of them are quite like early stage musicians, which was so awesome to share the stage with them at that stage. And I think connecting with an audience in that way is really beautiful, and you can feel kind of like a reception and different engagement than just online. Online can be pretty awful. You just kind of you put stuff, you kind of work on something for so long, and you just kind of like put it out there, and it's just out there existing in that kind of ephemeral kind of tangible space. So I'll let Georgette say anything if you want to add anything.
It's been super lovely, and it will be interesting to see in these coming weeks how it feels post-tour, because we put it out and then went on tour. And that was a very different way of engaging and hearing feedback and receiving reception. And so now, I guess like what Hazy was saying, it will be more in the internet realm, and then when people say it to us also in person, but it'll just be interesting to see the distinction of how it feels having put it out there.
For sure. Well, a sure sign too that I've talked to some artists, they're like, as soon as I start noticing people singing along with me, we know that it's out there, that the world has received it. So what else? 2025 was chugging through, the record's out. What can we look forward to from Womb for 2025? What's on the docket?
Well, Cello, I'm not sure if Hazy mentioned earlier, they're going to be going to Europe, and in July, and they'll be playing a couple of solo shows over there, and also doing a residency in Spain. Is that right? Yeah. And working on their writing and music in the residency, which is connected to some cave structures. So they'll be experimenting, which will be quite cool. And we'll also maybe be playing with a string quartet at some point, which is not announced yet. And doing some more shows and just working on the next album.
Amazing. And Haz, the residency, is this so that you can start to flush out what's to come? Is that, or is it just personal development, like musical, like professional development? Like how are you approaching that?
Yeah, it's definitely like making music for the next record, whatever that will be. Cello kind of got like immediately after the last record was like immediately like into writing and doing stuff. For me and Georgette, I think, a bit busy at this stage, so excited to kind of enter into that space. Me and Cello have been composing for two different short films, so each separately working on some composing, which has been very fun. but yeah, so it'll be focused on the next record though. So
amazing. Well, I want to thank you too. This has been a lot of fun. It's great to hear about your journey and what's to come. And I think this latest record is a testament to the power of family and siblings and almost this non-communication that needs to happen to create these sounds. It's just such an open and accessible record from start to finish. So thank you for putting that out into the world. It's been a real treat to listen to.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chris.
And it's been a real pleasure talking with you guys. I hope once the residency's done and the next record's out, we can reconnect. I'd love to have you back on to talk about it and see how all of that's evolving. I will be listening. I'll be watching. I wish you all the best too for your summers and what's to come down the road. It's been a real pleasure talking with you guys.
Thank you so much, Chris.
Thank you.
Bye.